Hello, my name is Madison Reyes, and this is my informative speech on coffee. Have you ever stopped and considered what you put into your body on a daily basis and how it might affect your health? Great, because neither have I. However, when surveyed, an approximate 79% of Americans admitted to consuming at least 1 cup of coffee on a daily basis before proceeding on with their day-to-day activities. Coffee can be consumed in various forms, such as black coffee, or in a latte form, or in its truest form known as green coffee. And in this speech, I plan to cover the history of the coffee bean, the industry as it is today, the health benefits of coffee, as well as the practical uses of coffee in everyday life. Coffee has recently resurfaced due to what's known as the Millennial Complex, which is referenced in the Nation's Restaurant Food Blog. But before we can understand the medical uses as well as the practical uses, we have to understand the history of the coffee bean. It was originally found in the 9th century by accident by Kaldi, the goat farmer in Ethiopia. He discovered that his goats became more active and chaotic throughout the day when they consumed this fruit that was out in the field. So he decided that he was also going to consume the fruit, and he found that he also became more active and chaotic. It was originally consumed as a fruit source rather than an energy source because the outside of a coffee bean is actually a cherry. This was very monumental, groundbreaking, because he was able to do more daily activities with requiring less sleep. It was later adapted and transported by the monks with the spread of Islam. They decided to grind it up into a powder form and just add water. That way they could eliminate the spread of the coffee throughout the world. In a sense, we can thank the Phoenicians for the vowels that we now have in our alphabet, allowing us to read. We can thank the monks for black coffee as we know it today, and we can thank the German housewife for creating coffee filters, because without the coffee filters, we would have coffee grinds in every cup of coffee that we drink. We can take a look at the coffee today, and over 70 countries produce coffee, most of which are found in the tropic region if you take a look at the coffee belt. Annually, the U.S. coffee industry brings in about $12 billion in revenue, and Starbucks alone sells about 4 billion cups of coffee each year. So, as you can see, the monks did not do a very good job at keeping coffee contained. Now that we have a historic background and we take a look at how it transferred to today, we can take a look at the physical benefits of coffee itself. So it can prevent against type 2 diabetes, and according to Harvard's professor, Dr. Frank Hugh, it decreases your chance of type 2 diabetes by 9% by just consuming 1 cup of coffee a day. It also reduces the risk of depression and suicide. When you consume a cup of coffee, it releases endorphins, and endorphins are a chemical released when it's a feeling of comfort, very similar to when someone hugs you. It also protects against heart disease. It can act as a natural Drano for your heart. It breaks down the calcium that has been built up inside of your arteries. Now that we've taken a look at the health benefits, we can look at the practical uses in daily life. As you can see, coffee is more than just caffeine. It can act as a palate cleanser, and you'll notice at many fancy restaurants, they offer after dinner coffees. You drink that after your dinner, but before your dessert to cleanse your palate, as well as fragrance stores such as Bath & Body Works and Basin. They offer shakers of coffee that you smell in between candles and lotions and soaps to cleanse your sense of smell. It can also be a key ingredient in many facial products. It fights against acne because it exfoliates as well as rejuvenates your skin, and it can also protect against skin cancer. The last practical use in your daily life is composting of coffee grounds. It acts as a natural fertilizer, allowing your plants to grow. It also acts as a natural pesticide because insects don't like the smell of coffee. They think it's too sweet. So the plant's too sweet, insects don't attack it. So in summary, whether we consume coffee as a palate cleanser, we turn to it for medicinal uses, or we use it to rejuvenate our skin, Coffee is all around you. So next time you drink a cup of coffee, just think about all of the amazing things that it's doing for your body, as well as giving you a nice source of energy. So word of advice, never say no to that coffee date, because chances are they're just more worried about your health than they are about the physical date. Thank you for listening to my informative speech. I really hope that you guys can take something away from this.